I am not going to prescribe or play doctor in this talk. All we're going to do merely is explore the theoretical nature of the disease. I think you will find, however, that in this act of exploration, it opens up possibilities for preventing and even reversing the disease if you have it. It is possible to eliminate 90% of the cancer we face today now, and I will prove it to you in the next minute. I will prove to you that can be done. We can do the exact same thing. I can tell you, and I will show you right now, how you can do exactly that, get exactly that result. Let's think for a moment. In other words, remove those toxins that have been entered into the environment in the last year that have helped stimulate cancer, to put back the nutrients that have been removed from the food you eat, to take your body back to that state. Then by definition, you have eliminated 90% of the cancers that you have today. Understand, genes are not responsible for that cancer. Does anyone in this room believe that cancer occurs for no reason at all in your body? That it's sort of the hand of God reaches down, magically touches you and says, for no reason, you are having cancer. And that when you get it, it exists in only one area of your body, and if you get rid of it in that one area, it's gone forever. Is there, please, a show of hands, does anyone believe that? Not one person raised their hands. And in fact, not one doctor would agree to that. Why is this an important question? Because you need to understand, if you opt for any traditional treatment in cancer, that treatment is based on accepting that premise. So what is the true nature of cancer? I will tell you absolutely straight out, cancer is fundamentally a disease of the immune system. What do I mean by that? I mean that you need to understand that every single day of your life, as part of the normal metabolic process, your body produces cancer cells, anywhere from a few hundred to as many as 10,000 a day. Every person, every day, produces cancer cells in their body. If your immune system is functioning properly, it identifies and removes each and every one of those cells. Why then do some people get cancer? Very simply, there are three factors that cause this whole system to go wrong. And I'll touch on them briefly and then go into them in detail because we're getting to the heart of the issue here. And what actually happens is it's more usually the three together than just one. One, you are exposed to toxins or outside influences that increase production of those cancer cells beyond those few hundred to 10,000 a day. We're going to go into detail, but give you an example. Cigarette smoke. Does it guarantee you get cancer? No. But it's a guarantee. It increases production of the aberrant cells in the lungs, increasing the likelihood of getting cancer. There's a whole bunch. We'll talk about those more later. Second factor is that you compromise your immune system so it can't even handle the cancer cells your body normally produces. We'll cover those in detail, but to give you one example, a single can of cola, and I've said this before, soda pop, probably the single worst food ever created by man, but a single can of soda can compromise parts of your immune system by up to 50% for 6 hours or more. Does anyone know people at work who slug down 5-6 sodas a day or more? Has anyone seen kids walking around with 32-ounce big gulps? What kind of immune system do you have to fight the cancer cells your body is producing? Third factor is circulation. I mean circulation in the grand sense here. And we'll cover this in detail, but it's circulation of blood, of lymph, and of energy. Let's cover these in a little more detail. First thing, what kinds of things increase production of cancer cells? The list, in some sense, is almost unlimited. We'll touch on a few of them. First one, radiation. We all know people who are exposed to radiation from nuclear fallout, such as Hiroshima and Nagasaki, or from Chernobyl, have a much higher incidence of cancer. Radiation causes cells to go aberrant. Sometimes, if the dose is very high, that cancer can come quickly in a matter of weeks or a few months. In other cases, it can take 10, 20, 30, 40 years for that cancer to manifest. But the percentage of people who have cancer after exposure to radiation is higher. Anyone occasionally stressed here? Okay, a couple of people occasionally stressed. Stress increases free radical production by 800% in the human body. You need to understand, I know it sounds overwhelming. Drinking water. Chlorine is a known carcinogen. It is in your water because it's considered an acceptable risk. Not necessarily acceptable for those small percentages that get cancer from it. Even something as simple as acid reflux. Continual acid reflux in the esophagus stresses the tissue in the esophagus so much, eventually you get esophageal cancer. Impure blood. Again, we've talked about the issue of the circulating immune complexes, but it also leads to the issue of pH balance. Now, your blood doesn't change very much. If it did, you would die. But all of the tissue around the blood can go acidic. And the fact is, cancer thrives in acid environments. It dies in alkaline environments. Actually, 100 years ago, when they would perform surgery for cancer, they would throw a caustic in before they would close you up, because they knew the alkalis prevented the recurrence of cancer. It's not done anymore. There's an issue associated with that, too, is that cancer thrives in low oxygen states and tends to die in high oxygen states, which opens up possibility for therapies. But that relates to pH, because the more acid your body is, the less oxygen is available. The higher the pH, the more oxygen is available. The pathogens, when you have colds, bacteria, you're always fighting some kind of pathogen. Your immune system is occupied dealing with that pathogen. It's not available to deal with the cancer cells. Mental attitude, Doc Christopher's line, most people need an enema between the years, is absolutely true. There's an incredible correlation between depression and cancer. Again, we're talking about blood, lymph, and energy. Let's talk about each of those in a little more detail. In blood, we're talking about three things: getting oxygen to the cells, getting nutrition to cells, and removing waste. Well, first of all, what are some of the things that stop blood from getting to tissues? Well, for one, what about when your arteries clog? When you have hardening of the arteries, arteriosclerosis. I know the doctors will perform bypass surgery for the heart, but that only helps right here. Every other artery in your body is clogged too. You're having restricted flow of blood throughout your entire body. Again, we already talked about oxygen killing cancer. If you're not getting oxygen to cells, it creates a cancer-rich environment. What else stops blood flow? Anyone occasionally tense? Oh, good, a very calm group. Okay. When you are tense, what is tension? How do you feel it? You feel tension in the neck. In the back, it's constriction of muscles. When the muscles tighten, it constricts the blood vessels. You have restricted flow of blood when you're tense. It stops not only oxygen, it stops nutrients from reaching cells, the nutrients the cells need to rebuild themselves. It stops the removal of waste. You've got to have circulation of blood. Next issue, circulation of lymph. Lymph is the sewer system of your body. For example, when a macrophage kills a bacteria, it drops off into the lymph system to be flushed out. You have more lymph fluid than you have blood, but you have no heart to pump the lymph. It takes muscle movement, exercise. And the fact that more and more Americans are living a sedentary lifestyle is one of the main reasons lymph cancer is the fastest growing cancer in the United States today. You've got to circulate the lymph fluid. And the last issue is circulation of energy. In the video on scalar energy, I think it's called It's All About Energy that I did, the first half of the video really talks about the fact that your body is fundamentally an energy system. Do you remember that, those of you who saw the video? It's an energy system. All of the things that we do with herbs and supplements is really to manipulate the energy in the body. You have to get that energy moving through the body and circulating to reach all the cells of the body. In fact, the whole Chinese system of medicine is based on circulation of energy. Chinese medicine says that when you have lack of circulation of energy, an area that doesn't get flow of energy, you have pain, you have disease. If you reestablish the circulation of energy, that's what acupuncture is all about, then you basically bring the body back to a state of health. The other issue that's key to cover, and we talked about that in the scalar energy video, is that every cell in your body is an energy system, a mini battery with a transmembrane potential. The key point here is that when the energy level of that cell goes down, its transmembrane potential goes down to below 20 millivolts, cells tend to become cancerous. So if you can keep the energy moving, flowing into the cells of the body, keep that energy level up, they tend not to go cancerous. We'll talk more about this later.